Well, when I have to think about the general themes that I go over in my writing, if I look back at my books, for instance, I see that they all deal with family and with family life, but not just in a family typical setting, but in a setting of some kind of stress or some kind of transformation, I guess would be a better word, where something has happened that's pretty significant and that people have to adjust and recover and make decisions about where they're going to go and what they're going to do. I really enjoyed writing Enzo and The Art of Racing in the Rain, and I love Enzo, but it's not like I am obsessed with writing dog books. I write family dramas.
What draws me into retelling folk tales and fairy tales, myths and legends, the old stories from around the world? First of all, it's simply a love of storytelling, and these stories have withstood the test of time. They are stories that have been told and retold for generations, hundreds of years. It can even be thousands of years, some of the oldest folk tales and fairy tales. So first of all, as somebody who loves story, they are great stories. And secondly, one of the reasons that they hold up pretty well is that they usually have an inner message, an inner meaning. Some of the stories within certain tribal groups or cultural groups convey history or information that's really relevant only to the tribe, but they do convey it through the telling of stories. But a lot of them have universal truths in them that remind us some very important things. They help me share in a multicultural, increasingly multicultural society. It's a great way of showing the links, the bridges between cultures. And also when you deal with stories that are very specific to a certain culture, it's a great way of introducing, especially young people, through these stories to other cultures. And the majority of them grow out of, inevitably, the oral tradition. It's a lot of fun finding ways to catch some of the flavor of the tellings on the printed page in the books, and then also when I go to the schools and visit, I do a lot of storytelling along with discussing the book, so it gives me a chance to try my own hand at telling the stories and keeping these stories alive. They're important for so many reasons.
Yeah, I arrived in Batavia last night and had a wonderful event with the Porsche Club of America here, and I've been doing several events, and everyone seems so really open and nice and welcoming, and it seems like a really fun place to be. I think the weather's fantastic. I've been told it's not typical, so I guess I prefer this kind of weather to the snow, but as for the people, I think they're really wonderful.
I've been having such a marvelous time here. This is my second major swing through schools in the area. I was here about 3 years ago under the same program, speaking in the schools, and I've been for 3 days now in Batavia and visiting other schools in the area. It's a very warm community. I feel very comfortable here. There's a tremendous amount of interest, obviously, in the schools, in books, in reading. The teachers and parents and so forth have been great. They've got the kids really enthused about the books and so forth. I haven't had a bad experience in the two visits here. All the schools have been great. I've enjoyed meeting the people. I've had a wonderful time, and I'm already trying to engineer another quick return to the area. So I'd say, as far as Batavia is concerned and the surrounding communities, it's aces.
It's always difficult to try and put down in just a few sentences what an aspiring writer should try to do to work toward the craft of writing. The short answer, the easy answer, if you're going to be serious about your writing, I suggest take acting classes. I know that sounds silly, but in the theater, an actor has to know everything about intention and motivation and where the character is coming from and where the character is going to. And if you can get all those elements down in your writing, you're going to have a pretty solid foundation. So I would strongly encourage taking acting classes. I would encourage reading as much as possible. And then I would encourage writing as much as possible. The trick about writing is that we can't get too precious about it. We have to be willing to throw it away if it doesn't work. And so sometimes we're going to spend days or even weeks, or trust me, I've done it, months, writing pages and pages and pages that you cut out of the book and you throw it away. And there's nothing more painful than putting 90 pages in the recycling bin, trust me. But sometimes we have to do it because at a certain point it's not about the writer anymore, it's about the work. And so we have to, in a sense, serve the piece that we're working on, and we're obligated to that. So with that in mind, I say go out there and get the pen on the paper and start going.
One of the things I recommend is that you only turn in your absolutely best draft. If a story feels like it's pretty much there, but one more little rewrite, one more little tweaking would take it that final step. Take the time, pause, go, do the tweaking, the changing, whatever, and only send editors is extremely important too these days, because editors have less time, and a lot of times they aren't buying quite as many books. So you really want to send your best material to an editor. Another thought is to persevere, not give up. I was trying to sell stories to be made into books for literally years before I finally sold my first story to be made into a book. So don't give up, and don't get discouraged if an editor says no, or even a number of editors say no. Sometimes you do have to work through 10 or 12 editors to find the lucky 13th or whatever. And so it's worth not only sending your best, but believe in yourself. Keep at it, keep at it, and keep at it. And maybe if you get 20 rejections on a story and they all say the same thing, the characters are weak or the plot isn't interesting, then after all those rejections, you might sit down and think about rewriting the story a little bit. But the main thing is not to get discouraged, and to accept the fact that one editor's opinion is not the end-all and be-all of everything, and to keep working at it, to believe in yourself, and to take it that extra mile, and or however, extra inch, extra mile, however it is, to get the best manuscript you can out there. Do your research too. Before you send a story to an editor, make sure it's the kind of story an editor is going to want to buy. It's a total waste of everybody's time if you send a story that's based on history to an editor who only wants a contemporary story. The thing to do is do your research. Go to the library. You can see the writer's market. There are any number of books that tell what editors are around and what they're buying. And you want to do your market research very carefully too before you send your absolutely perfectly turned out story to an editor.
I just want to say thank you so much to Howard and Billy. You guys are doing a great service to your community. What's really important about our communities is keeping the conversation alive, keeping the conversation vital and active. And with discussion, change happens, improvement happens, and that's what's really important about what you're doing. And I appreciate it, and I hope you keep going with it.
I've had a very good time and flattered and honored and delighted to be sharing things with the Batavian. So here's good wishes to Howard and Billy Owens, who have, as far as I can tell from what I've heard and seen, been doing a terrific job, and keep up the good work. And this is, in a way, a long-distance greeting, since I'm from California, and that's a place you know well, some years ago anyhow. And it's nice to know that you're bringing a little bit of good creative energies here to the Batavia area, which I'm delighted to visit, and maybe next time around we'll actually have a chance to meet in an up-close and personal fashion.